What's up, guys? So I was doing some research into the variable valve timing circuit on these motors, and information is pretty limited from what I could find, at least from like factory service manuals and stuff, strictly because it's a strictly Japanese engine. But I looked into the actual part number for the valve itself, and it's the same that's in like the GS300, IS300. So I ended up finding a factory service manual for the IS300, and I was looking into the step-by-step diagnostics for that system, some of which I actually already did just out of habit and, you know, logic. You can see before that I tested the actual solenoid with 12 volts and it clicked. So, I tried measuring the voltage across the ECU pins. Now that was incorrect for me to do because it's actually a PWM valve and it sends out a pulse width. So what I'm going to try to do now is measure the duty cycle across those pins using my multimeter, both there and at the ECU if I can't get it. Now, if there is a duty cycle there and the valve isn't working, and that just means I have to replace the valve. Even though it worked when I put 12 volts to it, it might be a little bit lagging behind, like the electromagnet might not be as powerful as it should be, so it might not be able to keep up with the really high frequency those valves have to work at. And if there is no signal, then we have a bigger problem because two ECUs haven't been sending out a signal. That's very odd. So I'm gonna give that a shot and we'll see what happens. I'm sorry for the vibration because the car is actually running. So let me just stick this here somewhere. Yep, there we go. There's that duty cycle. So this number, I believe, isn't supposed to ever go over 70%. But I think what's happening is the ECU is trying to compensate for the lack of reaction from the camshaft. So I think I'm gonna try a brand new valve. So I'm really not trying to get my hopes up because I've done that several times and got let down. But this is the first real proof of there being an issue in a long time. So I'm really stoked that it might just be an OCV, which from what I looked at, it's only like 50 to 60 bucks for a new one if I can get a good vendor. So I'm gonna give that a shot and I'll pick this back up when I get that, hopefully in a few days. So I have the brand new Toyota OCV solenoid. I'm gonna pop this in and see if that is actually what was causing all these issues this whole time. If not, I'm gonna be really sad, but what's new? So unfortunately that wasn't it either. I don't know why I'm surprised anymore, honestly. Good news is I'm gonna have a bunch of extra spare parts, or I could try to sell them. Like all these sensors I've bought and that haven't fixed the issue, I just have extras now. So another failed attempt to fix the issue. I tossed a 90-degree elbow in front of the mass airflow sensor. My buddy Zach has an FC as well. He did a 1J swap also, and he had a similar issue, and he had his filter here like I did. And just by putting that elbow in front of it, I guess it makes the flow more laminar through the sensor. You get better reading from the MAF, and it's supposed to clean it up. And I did like one pull and it felt really decent. Like it didn't feel like a ton of power, but it went all the way up to red line, and then another one, it gave me the crap like it's always been doing. So I don't know, maybe replace the knock sensors. I'm knocking things off. Eventually I'm gonna figure it out. So stay tuned. So no luck with the knock sensors. I don't know why I'm surprised at this point. I have no clue what the hell's going on. I've like replaced every sensor on this engine and I still have no idea why. Sorry this video has been all over the place. I've been really rushing around to try to fix what's wrong with the car because I figured it'd make a really good video to kind of end on it working, but I'm not sure that's gonna be the case. I was gonna go around the block and try a couple more pulls, but a officer just posted up on the corner of my street, so not gonna be able to do any of those. But the plan for today was actually going to be to do an all-wheel alignment on that car with toe plates. So, because I was like, hey, if I can't get it running, at least I can knock some other stuff off my list. So I'm gonna still set that up to do that. I have some old rims I'm gonna drop it on in the driveway and some toe plates. I'm not sure how much of that I'll be able to show because I don't have too much time and I'm here with myself right now, but I will try to point out the most I can. driveway alignment rack. Make sure the toe is centered front and rear so that regardless of what the toe in, toe out is, it's the same on both sides. Then I'm going to adjust the rear camber and then the rear toe. And then I'm going to go up front and I'm going to adjust the front toe. So I measured from this part of the control arm here to the axle flange on both sides, and this side was off by about 1/8 of an inch, so I actually, yeah, 1/8 of an inch, so I brought it in. Now they're even, so next thing to do is measure camber and adjust camber with the camber arm I installed. So what I do, I put the plate, I can't do this with my hand, it's difficult. Put the plate up against the wheel, you take this and you place it as vertical as you can. You get about a degree, 1.3. I just did the other side, it was between 0.9 and 1.3 as well. So that means nothing's bent because they're the same. So this is really good starting. There's maybe, what do we got here? 68, and then like a hair under 7/8, and then on this side we have 68 and a hair over 7/8. So we got about a 1/16 of overall toe in the back. 69 7/8, 69 7/8. So 0 toe in the rear and about a degree of camber. That's pretty good. I messed with the camber. I got this side to 0.1 or 0.2 and this side to about half. And that's maxing out the camber arm at this ride height, which is pretty good. So the way this is set up, it's actually amazing. When you adjust the camber, it doesn't affect toe whatsoever. So I brought in both sides by about a little over 1/8 of an inch at the bottom of the wheel. So that lowered the negative camber down about a degree and a half, and we still have 0 toe. So now I just measured from the frame to the end link on both sides with the steering wheel centered to make sure the rack is centered, and it is. So now I'm just going to check toe in the front. So just check the toe in the front, and there's actually 1 inch difference between the front and the back. So I have an immense amount of toe in at the moment that I have to fix. And now I have the front set for an 1/8 inch overall toe out, and it is spot on. So, whew, it's nice to get things done. The thing left to do for the alignment, we would actually take it for a drive and see if the wheel is straight, and then you know, shift the rack accordingly. But it's good now. Cutting these out makes it super convenient to do front end alignments. It's so nice to have done a thing. It is super hot today. It's like over 90 degrees. Like, what is it out? Like 99 degrees right now, Ted? It's pretty hot. So next thing I'm doing is I'm pulling out the dash so we can pull the heater core and stuff back out, because I decided I don't want to use it. So I capped the heater lines on the engine, and we're gonna pull the dash out and take those lines off. Oh my God, it's hot. So I got some nice caps for the coolant lines. Now I just gotta pull these out, pull the dash out and get under that. This up in a little bit, but I also went around and got nice caps for all that stuff. Sick. Oh yeah. Doesn't work. There's no reason to have this.
It's just extra weight.
Extra nonsense. Unneeded nonsense. Ow. Ah, it's so hot! I can't
You had AC.
Can't even breathe. Oh God. How convenient.
You could probably fit a whole other JZ back there. Look at all that space.
Yeah, you can put your RB back there when it doesn't work.
Oh, rude.
Shots! So that's where I'm gonna end this video. Unfortunately, we still haven't figured out why the car is acting stupid, but good news is we did an alignment. We cleaned up the engine bay a lot. We removed a lot of the unnecessary crap that I don't know why I put in the first place. There's only one sensor left on the motor that I haven't replaced, and that's the crank sensor, which I really don't think it's it, but I will try it anyway, probably. I also want to try another MAF, and then a couple other things that people have mentioned in the comments that I will address in the next video. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you like what you see with us and our builds, please subscribe, and maybe hit that little bell if you want to actually get notified when we post videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.